Thank you so much for joining us during these unprecedented times. I am Patty Sabin, the President and CEO of Michigan Court Appointed Special Advocate, or CASA. This is our maiden voyage into the world of virtual fundraising, which with the advent of COVID-19 has become necessary. Michigan CASA recently experienced two crushing blows which may affect the future of our organization. Number one was the cancellation of our annual fundraiser, which historically would raise about $60,000. Number two was the governor's veto of $500,000 state funding, which had been allocated to Michigan CASA. These funds have been reallocated to help fight the virus. Because of this, it is more important than ever to raise the funds necessary to continue to open new programs and support existing programming. For our new friends just joining us, the CASA program provides screened, trained, and qualified community volunteers to advocate for the best interests of children who are before the court as a result of abuse or neglect. CASA Best Interest Advocacy is driven by the guiding principle that children grow and develop best with their family of origin if that can be safely achieved. Our local county programs have mobilized and are making sure every child we serve knows they are not alone and that their volunteer is standing right beside them. They are FaceTiming, calling, texting, sending letters and cards to make sure kids are safe and as okay as they can be in this uncharted moment of crisis. Michigan CASA is laying the groundwork to increase volunteer recruitment and capacity building efforts because we need to be there for children who are not yet on the radar of the child welfare system, but may be in a matter of weeks or months. CASA will be needed more than ever. This year, I'm pleased to share that a very generous donor has committed $25,000 matching funds for donations made on May 5 and 6. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for helping us keep our children safe and in sight.
Hi, my name is Gregory Pittman. I am the presiding judge of the 14th Circuit Court Family Division located here in Muskegon County. During the first month of my judgeship, when I began back in 1998, I was presented with a permanent wardship trial, a termination of parental rights proceeding. And as you would expect, a young judge on the bench in such an incredible hearing, things were coming fast and furious. The lawyers were advocating for their clients. And at some point, Department of Health and Human Services called a woman named Joan Majeski, who was the court-appointed special advocate on the case. And Miss Majeski epitomized what I believe is the very best of what CASA provides in our court system. She testified not as a person who was advocating anything other than what served the best interest of that child who was the subject of those proceedings. And from that day forward, I have had the utmost respect for the volunteerism and the professionalism and the care and compassion of those who serve as court-appointed special advocates here in the state of Michigan, and I would say all across the country. And it has been an important role that they play in the proceedings that go forward as we try to protect the lives of children in our communities. Over these 22 years, I have seen incredible people who are court-appointed special advocates come through my court, and I am always grateful for the good and hard work and the decency that they bring to helping us to make good decisions that serve the best interest of children.
Hi, I'm Monica Smith. I've been a CASA for about 18 years. I have served, I believe, 12 children, all of which who have found permanency. That's a huge, huge thing, knowing that not a single child that I have interacted with has aged out of the system or has found themselves without hope or without a family. And when you know what we know and you've seen what we've seen, it's really a testament to the power of CASA that these children have not always good endings, but better endings, okay? And right now with the virus, it's a very scary time because not only has our funding been cut, which means we might not be able to keep doing what we're doing, because I can't do this work without CASA. I have to have a court appointment. That gives me the power to do it. I have to have supervision. We have to have connection to the courts. I can't do this just by being a good human being. I'm a trauma therapist. I still can't do this work without having my court appointment. I have to be a CASA. And with funding being cut, and with child abuse cases being underreported right now, I am fearful that the children that nobody is watching, the children that don't have a CASA, I'm really fearful that when we emerge from this and we see the effects of children being trapped in homes, literally, physically, in abusive situations, when these children emerge and the reports begin to flood into CPS again, that there's not going to be a CASA to advocate for these children. That's a scary thing. That's a really scary thing, and it's something that can be remedied. We have people that want to be volunteers. We're always wanting to train new volunteers. But even when we have people ready to step up, people willing to commit their time, their energy, their soul to this, we can't do it if we don't have the money. And so, please consider the fact that our children, the ones that are being served right now, they're being watched, they're safe. But there are so many more that are not being watched and that are not being safe. And time is going to tell. We need your support more than we ever have, so that people like me and the hundreds of CASAs across the state can do what we do. We can't do it without you. Please consider that.
Hi there, my name is Lansing Sanchez Castillo. I am a senior at Grand Valley State University studying international relations and human rights. I am also a former foster youth and a former foster youth with a CASA volunteer. I also do advocacy work now to protect children's rights. At the age of 5, my siblings and I were orphaned, and my grandparents had adopted us. There were a lot of inappropriate things going on in the house, such as physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse. And after a number of years, when things came to light, we were removed from the home and placed in a group home, in a group foster care home. And after some family placements and different placements like that, we ended up with my aunt and uncle from my mom's side, who had been close to the family for a while and involved close to us physically growing up, to help out. But once we were placed in their home, we kind of learned a very cold love that they had, and a very overt attitude. So it wasn't the best living situation, but we had CASA come in, and our CASA volunteer, Shelly, was phenomenal. She changed the atmosphere completely and the dynamic in the household, to where my aunt and uncle, they didn't have so much of a chip on their shoulder. They were kind of nice to us because they knew that we had someone on our side, in our corner, fighting for us. And we felt that with the frequent visits and the interactions that we had with Shelly, how positive and uplifting and supportive they were. One of the first things that Shelly had asked us when we had met was what some of our interests and hobbies were, some things that we liked, which It rarely gets asked of you when you're being tumbled through a system that's unresponsive like that. But she reached out and did that, and it really showed us that we had someone who cared about us. CASA is an integral part of the child welfare system. It has helped me and my siblings immensely, and I know it has for hundreds of other people across the United States. I'm grateful from them, and I can speak from experience to say that this is a part of the system that's going well. These are one of the good things that we need to keep and to show as an example of what to do, which is quite rare when you're looking at a failing and failed system such as the child welfare system that we have now. So I want to thank CASA for all the work that they do, and thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Smolensky, judge at the 63rd District Court. While these have certainly been extraordinary times, and it has been difficult for everyone, we have got to be there for the children. Michigan CASA, court-appointed special advocates. They give voice to our children in the child welfare system. Some 13,000 kids that need their voice to be heard. And Michigan CASA does just that. It's our obligation, really, to be there and support CASA. I have been a supporter of CASA as long as I can remember, and I always will be, because they are there to help the kids that are abused and neglected. And they are there, CASA representatives, that give voice to our children. We need to, all of us, come together, especially at this time. How many times have you heard the word unprecedented during this COVID-19 pandemic? Words like social distancing and things that we had never really thought about. I want you and your family and your friends and our entire community to stand up and support Michigan CASA. Thank you for helping our kids.